Yep.
Sweeter than mosquito and a white tuxedo and twice as nice. Yeah.
And you know, these were just little cliches the guys used to say when I was on the mic.
Yes.
Before the rapping really.
Yeah. Tex Hollywood, the man with the golden voice. Tex DJ Hollywood, huh? That's how
Remember, it was only happening in certain areas. You know, you had across town where Herc was at. You had on this side Mario, Tex, Bam, and then Bam bar and stuff, and playing at the park and stuff like that. And then when he started with the Zulus and bringing in Jazzy J, and then Sundance came in. So there's a lot of factions that were here.
Do you remember Tex DJ?
I remember
DJ
Tex was out there.
A
Absolutely.
little bit, yeah.
Of course I do.
Did you know he was Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
You did know?
Yeah, dark-skinned Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he was Puerto Rican. Right.
Yeah. So a lot of times people don't know that, because you got a lot of Puerto Ricans too that grew up with blacks. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, we start to incorporate each other's habits. You know what I mean?
Right.
And from there, that leads to relationships. And when you build relationships, then you have crossover there. And that's what was really happening.
But that would make Tex the first Puerto Rican
Hispanic
DJ in history, right? In hip hop,
he would definitely be a forerunner
of
that. Absolutely. Like I said, sometimes Mario just doesn't get all the credit he should.
Right.
But he was definitely out there. And then, depending who you listen to, just think about it. What side of town were they on? The side of and that's really what it is. Okay, well, this dude was doing it here like this. I took it over here now. I went ahead and broke it down on this side of town. I put my little blend to it, Bam's in the background learning, stuff like that. Finally makes a move.
But you know what? At the same time, we don't want to give Mario too much credit as far as, because like me and you did the interview before, and you said Mario had the ass kickers. Now, what I found out after all that is that that wasn't even Mario's equipment. He was just showcasing on it.
I guess because I'm playing, they see Mario on the mic, so
Mario was a showcase. He was the flamboyant. You was probably more like maybe quiet or maybe like
laid back.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Wow. So everybody thought your equipment was his.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't know that at the time. Because I would cut off the mic. No, give me that mic back.
Came out with the Echo box too.
Right.
And Disco King Mario. That for me, that was something that when we knew he was playing, we went because that was he was the only one that was kicking the mic and throwing the echo chamber in there and stuff like that.
Wow.
So there are little things in there, but when I look at it, he's the one that exposed me to that.
Right.
That's how I learned about the ass kicker speaker, and it's funny because I have some friends that became designers and used to go and look at his stuff and try to draw it up, and design them because they're expensive. Back in the day, that was a very very ideal piece of commodity to own, to have that kind of speaker out there, because obviously the solid sound that we put out, was used a lot in discos too.
Do you remember the name Cool DJ D at all?
I've heard of it, but I wasn't exposed to it.
It was his equipment.
Was it?
It was his equipment, actually. Mario orchestrated. Mario was like the manager. Mario brought him over to Rosedale, and Mario brought him over to Bronxdale.
Right.
Cool
Mario
DJ D.
used to have the, here you go, and I remember Mario. Mario would set up the lights too. He had that red light, green light, the street lights up in the front,
right.
the echo.
I think that was all Mario.
Kickers,
that was, but that was after what I hear is Mario, in 73, 74, that was DJ D's equipment. In 76, I think, 75 or 76, 77, that's when Mario got his own equipment. He hustled.
Mario got hooked up with the summer youth called jobs. When that started back there in the 70s. And Mario got down with them, and he was signing the paper, giving out jobs. But everybody had to give their first check to him. So that's how he bought his
That's what was called Chuck City Dudes.
And that was how he bought his first equipment. And then he started buying equipment, turntables, records and everything. And that's how he started coming out of Rosedale Park. And Rosedale Park was the biggest thing then.
He had summer youth program, and he was taking their money from their first checks, and he bought his own equipment, and that was later on, 76, somewhere around 76.
Back then, even though it wasn't his, though, he was getting it out there and putting it out there.
He was the man,
right?
Yeah.
And you going out there, and the one playing the music was him.
Right.
So, and he had his own thing with the echo, that whole little thing everybody knew about. Disco King Mario, and everybody's walking around the neighborhood, acting like they got a mic and imitating the whole sound of the echo chamber. Disco King Mario, walking around, and then people were doing pause tapes, trying to create that effect, and doing the pause tapes, and like talking in the background of the pause tape, and then making the little sound effects, and stuff. But we credit him with stuff like that too, which is all originality, Then everybody else just grabbed that and took it to a whole nother level. So even though he doesn't get like big, you got to understand though, he started to open up the door. He was the gateway, because he was the explorer. Okay, I put this wasn't mine, but I put these out, put the echo box out, mic, I got the big lights in the front, drawing attention. How many guys you knew that used to play in the park and used to bring out all the lights and stuff like that?
That was his idea, I think.
And that was his idea.
That was his idea.
That was something that was something that was a mark of distinction. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't credit that, but that's all part of the effect of the show. And that showmanship there. So if you want to talk about showmanship, then you got to give him some credit in reference to that, because he was the only cat that thought about, I'm going to bring out these lights. I'm going to do it like this. I got the mic with the echo,
As a founding father. Right.
So, other people took that to a whole nother level.
Right.
But in reference to original showmanship and starting it off, there's little things like that people need to give credit where it's due.
That's why we're saying culture, the lifestyle.
Right.
Mario started that lifestyle.
That was always him.
Right. He didn't start the looping the break. I don't know. But I don't think he started looping the brakes.
I just think it was just his
but the culture
and his associates,
the culture
that he knew.
He had the gangsters out with him in the park. You know what I'm saying? That's the culture.
He knew had equipment and was able to come together and take it from there. But outside of that, though, I still come back to the show. When the show goes on, that's the effect that's given. So you got to give him credit. That he brought the show to the street.
Right.
Compared to other guys, like, I just set up my turntables, get out there, have my MC, and my MC's blown away, and that's it there. But, he brought a whole little thing. He brought a little flash, brought a little color, he brought a little sound, and then he brought the sound differently. Now all of a sudden you got echoes, instead of just straight talking, through that analog. I mean, it's a lot of originality that, he was ahead of his time and he didn't even know. He was doing things that some people never even thought of.
I'm going to ask you two questions.
Okay.
Before we run out, two questions. One is, what was it about? It was about being fresh, about being fly. When you was young.
At one point, it was about that.
About being fly.
About being fly, and then you had the crew concept and who had the flyest crew. Then you had crews that like, I'm coming to take yours, and I'm gonna be fly. All for you. Go up to Southern Boulevard, and by the Jew Band, and buy up on Freeman Street, the other Jew Band, and bag you for your goods when you coming out, your sheepskin, stuff like that. That was out back in the day.
But it was all about being fly.
But it was about fly, who danced the best, that kind. That's how it was, and who was down with the crew that pumped the best music eventually, because the dancing and the music goes together,